Hello student. Today we are going to discuss about the new topic calculation of return and risk. Here we will discuss about different methods and different conditions where which by which we will come to know how to calculate the return. So before we start, you need to record and write down few equations. That is, first is a HPR. HPR stands for holding period return. The HPR, you can write down the equation that is here I'm just highlighting. So it's a Pn divided by P0. So Pn stands for the end value and P0 stands for the beginning value. Second equation that you need to write is HPY. This is stand for holding period yield, where equation stands HPY is equal to HPR minus 1, or we can also write Pn divided by P0 minus 1. So you can also use this equation. Now let us understand the applications of this equation with a different situation and different calculation. So here we assume that in the first example, suppose we start with some simple example. Suppose you purchase one share at a rupees 1000, and after 1 year the price of the share comes to 1100 rupees. So what is a HPR, or holding period return? Now, so to calculate, we are having now equation. So we will just put this value into equation. That is, HPR is equal to end value divided by beginning value. So end value is the right now, okay, the latest price, that is 1100, and the 1000, that is the amount invested, that is the beginning price. So here 1000 11,000 divided by 1000 will give you 1.1. Now this 1.1 is also considered as a times. It means if you invested 1 rupees is converted into 1 rupees 10 paisa. If you invested 100 rupees, it comes to 110. So that is the times. But now return is always calculated in the percentage. So for that we need to calculate HPY, that is a holding period yield. So how to calculate? So as we discuss, so HPR minus 1. So here HPR is 1.1 minus 1. So the answer is a 10%. So it's a simple. You can also apply this equation, that is a P1 minus P0 whole divided by P0. Okay, so if you follow this equation, even you will get the same answer. Okay, now come to the second situation. Now this situation, now in the first situation we discussed, when you purchase the share at 1000 and you sold at 1000, we have not included the dividend. Okay, there is you receive some income in between. So this is a second kind of situation where you purchase a share at 1000. After 1 year the company declared a dividend of rupees 10, and the price of the share closed at 1100. So now here this formula we already applied in semester 2 in equity valuation. So same formula that you need to apply over here. So here you will need to apply is this equation, that is a dividend plus P1 minus P0 whole divided by P0. Here D1 stands for the dividend, expected dividend at the end of the year, plus P1. P1 stands for the price at the end of the year, and P0 is the beginning value. So now if I put this value into equation, then 10 rupees is my dividend, plus 1100 is my end price, minus the beginning value 1000 and whole divided by 1000. So if you solve this equation, you will have the answer of 11%. Yes, this is what the answers that of a second situation. Now we come to the third situation. Now up to now we discussed two situations. In the first situation we discuss about when you purchase the share and hold for 1 year and there is no additional income during your holding period. In a second situation we discuss that you purchase the share, hold for 1 year, and you earn a dividend income at the end of the 1 year. Now in real life we are investing for more than 1 year. So let us understand that if this is the situation, then how to solve this example. So for that, it is a equation need to be revised. So if you look at the things at this line, that is a this is a new equation, that is HPR raised to 1 by n minus 1. Here n stands for number of years. So let us understand this example. So here a share was purchased at rupees 1000. The share price increased to 1500 after 3 years. Calculate the return earned. Okay, so here HPR raised to 1 by n minus 1. So here your HPR equation we know. What is the equation of HPR? We know that is it is a let me write this one for you. So HPR we know that is a PN divided by P0. Yes, so that is here PN is what? PN is a 1500. So that is a price at the end of the 3 year is a 1500, and the beginning price was 1000. So 1500 divided by 1000 raised to 1 by n. So here n is equal to 3 years. So raised to 1 by 3 minus 1. So if you solve this, you will get the answer is 14.47 percentage. Okay, so this is what the third situation. With this we come to the next situation. So again I repeat what we did. One share for 1 year, no dividend income. One share 1 year with a dividend. One share for number of years. So now suppose here you hold this share for 5 years, then you have to use this Pn divided by P0 raised to 1 by 5. Okay, now come to the second one. Here we are talking about the fourth situation. Here we assume that we are holding more than one shares, and we hold this share for number of years, 1 year. Okay, so like if you see over here, we are having a 3 shares, that is A, B and C, that you purchase. P0 stands for your investment prices. So you invested at a 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, and number of shares are 100, 200 and 300. Investment that you made is so how the investment amount comes? So simple, it's your purchase price into number of shares. So 10 into 100 comes to 1000, 20 into 200 comes to 4000, and 30 into 300 comes to 9000. So total amount that is invested is 14,000. Now at the end of 1 year, that is P1 we are talking about. Yes, P1. So that is price at the end of the 1 year are 12 rupees, 21 rupees and 33 rupees of A, B and C respectively. So what will be the investment value? So again we need to multiply the price with the quantity of the shares you hold. So 12 into 100, that comes to 1200, 21 into 200 comes to 4200, and 33 multiplied by 300 comes to 9900. So total amount value of investment that comes to 15,300. So now it is similar to what we did in the first situation. Yes, we are having the beginning value of investment, we are having end value of investment. So now we apply the HPR equation again. So how to do that? So end value of investment divided by beginning value of the investment. So here the end value investment is 15,300 divided by beginning value 14,000. So that gives you 1.093, and for HPY we need to do HPR minus 1. So 1.093 minus 1. So that gives you a return, that is a 9.3 percentage return. So if you invested this 14,000 and you hold for this 1 year, and at the end the value 15,300, then the 9.3 percentage return you earn. Now same example we can calculate for number of years. Like suppose you hold this share before 1 year, you purchase the share, and this share price is increased like what is given, that is 14,000 increased to 15,300 in a 5 years. So simply what you need to do is 15,300 divided by 14,000 raised to 1 by 3 or 1 by 5, whatever may be the return, minus 1. So you will get that annual return when you hold the number of shares for number of years. So now this is the fourth condition that we discussed. So again I repeat, 1 share 1 year without dividend, 1 share 1 year with a dividend, 1 share for number of years, and then in fourth one we discuss the number of share for 1 year. Okay, parallelly I already discussed with you that number of shares for number of years. Okay, now we come to that in a real life. Okay, in real life, if we talk about the words which are used by the analyst, or when we are going through some recommendation, so we are finding this word that on an average the return is offered by this stock is so and so. So this is now we come to know about the calculation of average return. And when we talk on average return, so we are having two types of average, that is arithmetic mean and the geometric mean. So here we'll find we will find the average return, or we also known as a mean return. Okay, generally it is a mention as X bar. Okay, so this is what the your average rate of return. Okay, generally it is used like that, expected return and average. It's a bar space for a average. Okay, so now let us start with the fifth one, where you are when you are holding the 1 share for many years and you want to calculate what average return that you earn. So the equation for arithmetic mean is simple, the sum of annual HPY. Please note here, yes, you just need to focus on this. Here the value or the focus is on HPY. Okay, so here you have to do the sum of annual HPY divided by number of years. So symbolically it is summation of HPY divided by n. Let us understand with the simple example. That is one stock which offer a holding period yield, that is a return 15% in first year, 20% in the second year, and in third year it is offer a minus 20%. So what percentage is average percentage offered by this stock? So what we'll do is just we add the all HPY, that is a 0.15% plus 0.20% plus minus 0.20% divided by number of years. So this is talking about 3 years, so that is we divide it by 3. So average return that we earn over here is a 5%. So this is a arithmetic mean. Here we just find out the average return. Now we come to the geometric mean. Okay, so geometric mean is considered more reliable than the average return. So that I'll explain in the during class presentation later on. But let us come what is the geometric mean and what is the equation. So geometric mean is the nth root of the product of the HPR for n years. Now here you have to keep this into mind, that here we will consider HPR, not HPY. So like sometime in exam they give you HPY, so you need to convert that HPY into HPR first. Okay, so now the symbolically it is a nth root, that is nth root, then product of HPY for number 1 year, HPR for number 1 year into HPR of number 2 years into HPR of number 3 years, and accordingly HPR of number of years. And but obvious after that you have to do it -1 to get the return. So now let us see that how it is going to work, or the same thing you can write in like this. It's a multiplication of all HPR raised to 1 by n, because nth root is nothing but the raised to 1 by n. -1 definitely you will get the return. Okay, so let us we continue with the same example. That is what we did in the last arithmetic mean. So you were having the return of 15%, 20% and minus 20% for 3 years, and we need to calculate is geometric mean. So geometric mean again, so I'll just put this value into equation. So 3 under root 1.15. Now see here, I am talking about HPY. Yes, I am talking on a, I am given is a HPY. If you see over here, sorry, if you see over here, what is given to us is HPY, and for equation what we require, HPR. So we need to convert this HPY into HPR. So how to do that? So it's a simple, HPR is equal to 1 plus HPY. Yes, so here if you see that, so HPY is given is a 15%. So first year it will be 1 plus 0.15. Don't do that 15. Yeah, so that is, it comes to 1.15. Sometimes students are doing this, 1 plus 15 is equal to 16%. Don't do that, it is a wrong. Yes, you have to use a HPY in a decimal point only. Okay, so this is how the HPR is calculated. So 1 plus 0.15 comes to 1.15, 1 plus 0.20 comes to 1.20, 1 plus minus 0.20, that gives a 0.80. Okay, so just have a multiplication of this, all these three, and raised to 1 by 3 minus 1, you will get the return 3.33. Now if you see that, that is arithmetic mean was 5%, while a geometric mean is 3.35%. The data are the same. We are calculating the return of average return for 3 years, but generally geometric mean will always you find less than arithmetic mean if the every year return is not the same. Okay, so geometric mean, this is for your reference. In exam you can verify your answer. So geometric mean generally are less than arithmetic mean, or it can be equal to arithmetic mean but never be greater than arithmetic mean. The second thing that is about this, that it is a nth root. Yes, it's a nth root. So you instead, suppose you don't know how to solve this, so I'll show you that in the calculation. Be with me. Sorry. Okay, so if you look at over here, so this is my scientific calculator in mobile. So suppose I want to do that. So suppose 1500 divided by 1000, this is a raised to, into bracket 1 by 3. So I will get the answer 1.144. This is a HPR minus 1. So I'll get the HPY into 100. I will get the return in a percentage, that is 14.47. So any answer you have an nth root, you can use this method. Now come to the next part, that is a cumulative wealth index. Cumulative wealth index is nothing but the 1 into product of all HPR. So you can easily calculate from the geometric mean, because in geometric mean what we did, हम लोगों ने calculation किया था HPR का, multiplication of HPR. So same thing here, 1 into HPR. So if we follow the previous example, yes, previous example, that is this one. So we were having 1.15, 1.20 and 0.80. So cumulative wealth index is what? 1 into HPR of 1 year, HPR of 2 year, HPR of 3 years. Okay, let me remove this so you can read it very neatly. So HPR 1, HPR 2, HPR 3. So I just multiplied 1 into 1.15, 1.20 and into 1.80. So that comes to 1.104. Now what does it mean? So cumulative wealth index, what it shows, that suppose you invested 1 year in this stock and you hold this stock for 1 year. then at the end of 1 year the value of this 1 rupees will be 1.104. Means suppose you invested 100 rupees, it comes to 100 into 1.104, so that is going to be 101.4 rupees, sorry, 110.4 rupees. Okay, suppose so it is invested 1 lakh rupees, so you just need to, if you are having CWI, commonwealth sorry, cumulative wealth index, suppose this word is generally used in a mutual fund. So when you are investing and you are having a CWI of any particular stock, suppose CWI is a 5, it means 1 rupee invested in this stock, now it is a value is a 5 rupees. So suppose I want to invest a 1 lakh rupees, and based on previous CWI, if it performs, then in a 5 years the 1 lakh will be converted into 5 lakh. So that is what the interpretation of cumulative wealth index. It is generally used in a mutual fund analysis report and fact sheet also. Now this is there is one last part of a return, that is a real return and the nominal return. So when we are talking on a return offered by any instrument, so we are generally talking on the nominal return, but we are ignoring the impact of inflation. So when we give a impact of inflation on the return, we call it as a real return. So what is the equation? Let us understand. So real return is equal to 1 plus nominal return divided by 1 plus inflation rate and whole minus 1. So suppose you are given that one stock offers a 18.5 percentage per annum and inflation was 5.5 percentage, calculate the return. So real return, actual return is given to you, that is a nominal return is 18.5, and real return we need to calculate. So it's a simple 1 plus nominal rate, that is a 18.5, so 1.1 plus, so this is how we have to use, that is 1 plus 18.5, so 0.185, so that is comes to 1.185. okay, so that is 1.185. Similarly divided by inflation, 1 plus 0.055, so that is comes to 1.055 and minus 1, so you will get the 12.3 percentage as a real return. So what does it mean? That is, by even given the impact of inflation, you actual return is 12.3, even though you on 18.5, but we have not considered the inflation. Okay, so if we consider the impact of inflation, the real return that you earn, that is 12.3 percentage. So thank you for today's session. The next part of calculation of the risk we'll do in a next lecture or next video.